Hi, I'm Zero, and this is my Twitch stream, Zero RPG, because I'm Zero and I like to do roleplay game stuff, the tabletop variety. A lot of times I like to do them with friends, which is awesome when, it's hard to always schedule things. Scheduling is the real BBEG of RPGs. So we're doing some solo RPGs, and we're starting the new year, 2025, with the third session of me running Stewpot as a solo game, because I looked it over and I thought with just a few tweaks I could probably do this solo. And I've had thoughts. I have thought of ways to make it even more solo, if you get what I mean. But we won't go through those thoughts or mini games that I've come up with, because we haven't really set this game up in the right way for what I've come up with. So what I think I might do is later in the next couple of months is maybe release something myself that will help people play Stewpot solo and add in some of the mini games I've come up with to help with that there. Sorry for the darkness. I need to fix that. I do have some new little ring lights. I just forgot to charge them. Can't use them yet. Maybe next time. In the meantime, hello darkness, my old friend. Anyway, let's get down to things. Stewpot is this awesome RPG that has come out recently. It's kind of like a cozy TTRPG for... Well, it's set up initially for a fantasy tavern, but I suppose you could easily turn it into different kinds of genres and the same thing, where your adventurers or heroes are looking to settle down or retire from the adventuring life or have a break from it, and so they set up a tavern. And you get to run the tavern with your fellow players and see how things go. If you can transition from the rough and ready heroic life to something a little bit more sedate, but it isn't always so sedate, as we've found out with some of the little games we've gotten up to. Anyway, we have been following two main characters. We have MKNZ Guyver, who is... Actually, I've completely forgotten who she is. I was going to update her character sheet. Last session we had some big issues with her character sheet, in that the background with all the information on it, except for what I'd added, disappeared. So we have we've found a way to fix that. But silly me, I haven't fixed it properly yet. So we will have to re-add all of that information. So I'll quickly do that now while we talk about it. And of course, my autofill keeps wanting to do things. So Kinsey Guyver, La Assassinita del Sol, which I assume is Assassin of the Day. I'm not sure. Pronouns, I think we were going with she, her. For the look, bit scruffy, windswept. I can't spell today. Unblinking eyes. And then she has a weapon, a sword, that whispers. Whispers what? Whispers in its scabbard. And the armor is a warm coat, because who doesn't need a warm coat? And shoulders that tense to the sound of... I think it was metal, but we'll just check. To the sound of metal. Shoulders that tense to the sound of metal. And the adventuring job, she was a rogue. If you remember, she was a teen when she stole this interesting sword that whispered to her, not realizing what kind of trouble she was getting into, and ended up having to go on the run, and that's how she became an adventurer. More kind of like an assassin who was taught by her magical sword. So she has a sixth sense to never be caught off guard. And she has the legendary weapon. An artifact of immense power. So she was actually quite a good assassin. I mean, I don't know what town job we got for it, but we've got taking care of a tavern. Anyway, she tried to settle down a few different times, but things didn't always work out for her. As you know, there were people hunting her. She's made enemies, and possibly there's still the guy who she stole the sword off of in the first place. Still keeping an eye out for her. But anyway, she was taken in at Black Oak by the little old lady who owned Boozer's Light, the tavern, which was on the side of a lake, probably a cliffside. Everything here is black. The water is black. The oaks are black. The ground, the dirt is black. The sky could be black. I don't know if we had decided if that was the case or not. But yeah, there's that. We also had Twinky, who I will bring up now. Twinky was Twinky the little goblin. He'd spike gauntlets that covered in dents. He had black boots with not a speck of dust on them. A gleaming smile was his quirk. He was also a bard. He had a bag of tricks. He was known for swindling people. He had golden words. He could convince people of anything. And he had sea legs, so he could balance on any surface. He has a very tall chef's hat that is almost as tall as he has, that he has acquired recently. And I believe we also gave him a dagger, but did he give it up? I don't recall if he gave it up. We'll say a dagger that went in his boot, which is why he never removes his boots. They stay on no matter what. Let's see. We've done a few things. MKNZ had stolen a cat brooch that she'd pilfered not too long ago. I believe she gave that up. Twinky's there. It was the mentor of the boot dagger. We had the NPC side quest for Randolph Swiftfoot, who was a platinum blonde half-elf, can't hold his liquor. He was drinking with Twinky, and he ended up under the table, blackout drunk, and he was missing some items, which, of course, we assume Twinky took. But he's unable to complete his delivery because he's so fish-knickered. So we ended up delivering the stuff to the kind teacher at the local school, and it was magic tablets for the kids to use. Then we went shopping. Twinky ended up getting an enchanted panini press. And apparently he's made a deal with the Rat King, who he met not too long ago. There was also getting garlic for life from the garlic seller, because he was able to create a dish that the garlic seller was able to taste, because the dude had no ability to taste, basically. So you can just imagine how flavorful that would have been. In Queensy went shopping for scarves and socks in the town's colours, and she learned that the shopkeeper is acquainted with her last kill that she had before she came to town. That was she killed a fashionista. And Queensy also asked the merchant what something is that he had recently got. Rather, the merchant asked Queensy that. And she said, it's a flower bulb, pretty little purple flowers, not dangerous, not rare. And they gifted it to her, and she puts it in a pot and gives it to Carter. I don't know if you remember Carter, but he turned up sometime at maybe the end of the first session, an amnesiac that everyone thought was a drunk. If we don't know anything about him. MKNZ seems to have a shy interest in him. We can tell that much. During wear and tear, Twinky invents punch poker, which they do on their break, and people get beat up. So MKNZ has to do some first aid on them. Lots of cold compresses. Then Twinky decides he needs to farm slimes, because slimes are part of his special ingredient for many of his dishes. So they go with free-range slimes, and it's just a plot next to the tavern. There's a baby slime called Squishy that becomes fond of yours and affectionate by golfing hands or feet, causing minor slime burns. I think Squishy ended up liking Carter, And Mackenzie's kind of ended up in a rivalry with Squishy for Carter's attention. And Squishy goes places that Mackenzie can't, like his room and the bathhouse. And it really annoys Mackenzie, but she doesn't know why. Anyway, so that's where we left things off. So, I had planned to do a familiar face and shelter from the storm and wear and tear, and then after that I have no idea. So we'll start with a familiar face. I'll just scroll down to it. Bring that up. I have so many things. Okay. So the setup for that one is everyone plays, and we have an old friend who has come to visit that we're going to show around the tavern. Basically it goes, "Excuse me, do you know where the tavern is? You're right in front of it. Welcome. You swear you've seen the strangest smile before." They lift the hood of their cloak. "How many years has it been? An old friend has come to visit. How do you show them around the town and the tavern?" So the setup here is that everyone plays and your friend is someone you'll know. So we need someone who Mackenzie would know and who Twinky might have also encountered as well. Now, since we set it up that Mackenzie and Twinky didn't know each other before getting to the tavern, that's a bit of an ask. So it would have to be someone that they would have travelled between the two of them, whatever their adventures were. So someone they all know. Could even be a rival or an ally or just someone who turns up. So we're going to have to draw a map. I guess I'm going to have to open another thingy to draw a map, right? JR has said someone who gets around like a ranger. Like a ranger. You don't mean like Strider from Lord of the Rings, do you? Or... Oh, we're not going to go with that obvious one. Right. So, it says we have to draw a map of the town, mark the tavern's location, and any important details from the game so far. So, obviously, we'll need to make a lake, right? Is it going to be just a oval lake, or is it going to be more asymmetrical? Do we think for... Did we even name the lake? I can't remember if we named the lake. Anyway, let's just draw something. I'll just use a shape. An ellipse. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Mr. the Trogs. That would have been easier. And then you could have drawn things for me as well, Mr. the Trogs. I don't like calling you Mr. the Trog. Trogs is so much easier. Okay. Oh, look, a black lake. What I'll do is I'll make it bigger and I'll just put it off to the side here. And yeah. I can see whatever. I just wanted the Twitch to match the blue sky to match the Instagram. Okay, gotcha. Alright, so we've got the tavern like up over here. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. Yes, you can. Okay, so the tavern's up here like on a cliff, right? So we'll say there's a normal lake. Down the bottom is the normal lake shore. And we'll say we have a cliff up here. So I'll just quickly draw something with... Okay. Select a layer first. Fuck. Why is drawing so hard? Let's start new... What? Is missing buttons. Oh, fuck, I'll just try and use that one. Layer is not editable. Fine. Background layer. Screw you. Have haste. Why is it not working? Is it too thin? It's because it's white. It needs to be black. Wow. Drawing a map is hard, guys. Okay. This now it's too thick. Control-Z. Make it thin again. What was it before 15? Cliff. And then we just, we drew a little lighthouse or something. So, and a little tavern. And we'll make a little, make it yellow. Did a little light. Wee! 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 See, there's light there. Alright, so there's a market in the town, right? So we've got to draw the town. So we'll have a little market. What would the market even look like? I need to buy like a map thing or something. Market. Oh wow, the text is so tiny. And in white again. Okay. We have a market. That is awful text. Let's change that font. That'll do. This is the market. What else? Draw the map of the local town. Mark the the tavern's location and any important details from the game so far. You'll add in more locations and details as you play. Okay, so we've got the market. We've got up there. We've also got our slime farm, so I should probably make the slime farm too, right? Slime ranch on the side of the cliff. We'll do tavern. Booze's Light. And I think we named the lake, but Shadow Lake is what we called it. That's right. Shadow Lake. Naturalists say the waters are dark from tannins flowing from peat bogs at its headwaters, and not at all because of anyone dwelling with anything. It says anyone. Do we mean anything dwelling in its depths? We also have. Is there anything else that we need to include in our map that we can think of that we've done so far? Yeah, my memories of things aren't perfect either, but I don't think we've really ventured out far. Really, it's just the market and the slime ranch, as far as I'm concerned. So I guess we will be populating the map a bit more now, right? So we've got Boozer's Light with the tavern and the slime ranch off the side of the cliff there. I guess I should kind of draw a bit more of the cliff going down. Yeah, that'll do. Alright. Alright, I should probably put a layer in for Shadow Lake. Alright. Okie dokie. So, we've drawn up what we know, which isn't much. And I've just put the market kind of hanging there. So what does it tell us to do? Let's go back to Stewpot. Giving the tour. So each player character shows off a part of the tavern. What would your friend appreciate, and what is your favourite part? What are you most proud of? And when you're done with the tavern tour... Hang on. Okay, so we start in the tavern. We should draw a map of the tavern. When you're done with the tavern tour, we get out into the town. We take turns introducing a location in town. So this is us building up the map of the town of Black Oak. To get a location, you must first describe the path you take to get there. And if you're not currently introducing a location, you can play as the friend. So once someone's finished showing off their location, the next player describes their path and location. Once each character has shown off at least one location, move on to see you again when you feel ready. Okay. Look at that artwork. Okay, so they've got some examples of paths. We can take an alley run by stray cats, a scenic view, slipping through a crowd, up a steep hill. Considering we're up on a cliff, we already got that. Walking down a street lined with trees, a magical shortcut. Ooh, a short boat ride. Ooh, we could hop over on a lake. Holding onto a rope, jumping a stone wall along the rooftops, or over a bridge and squeezing through a fence. Nice. Examples of locations are somewhere you are regular, a majestic tree, somewhere that has delicious food, a hidden gem, a specialty store, a quiet corner, down by the water, a show, a place with an interesting history, or a place where your friends from town hang out. Somewhere that is special during the current season, a memorial, or somewhere magical on the market stalls. And then we have to send them on their way. Interesting. We should probably build the friend first, right? And JR's already suggested a ranger or someone who's a wanderer. Wandering hunter type. Yeah, I think our wandering hunter type totally works there. Where is my Google Doc? Alright. So, what's it called, this one? A familiar face. We need a name. And we need a look. So should we go to the book for that, do you think? And give them that kind of information? I can't even remember what page that's on. Go to page 5. Because that might... Here we go. Adventurer jobs and experiences. I think that's it. Oh no, it's not it. But we can look at the ranger. Pinpoint accuracy, unerring sense of direction, a wild friend, follow any... Let's give him an animal companion! Okay. An animal companion. Alright. So, and we can roll for their weapon, their armor, and their quirk, but familiar face. So we a ranger with an animal companion, and I am going to roll for it's 2d6, wasn't it? Why do I keep rolling that? I swear these numbers are familiar. Anyway, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So we've already done spiked gauntlets. But we'll go with 7 for this one as armor. Clothes the color of deep forest. Yeah, that sounds like exactly what a ranger would want to wear. So, weapon... Armor, clothes the color of deep forest and quirk. Okay. Let's roll again. 4. So that was 7, 6, 5, 4. A sturdy shield polished to shine. No, I think it's hair cut short with a knife. I think that's a good quirk for a ranger, because you don't expect them to have short hair, right? You expect them to have longish hair. Short. A knife. 6. A bow that seems to hum when drawn. Ooh. See? That makes sense. A bow that seems to hum when drawn. That would kind of give away where you are, right? If you were hunting animals and stuff. Alright, so that's the look. And they're an adventurer. So I need a name, and I need a wild animal companion. There for our rogue. For our ranger. Let's look at the chat. A pine marten. What's a pine marten? I have no idea what that is. So, anyway, follow any trail, true north, Wild friend. So a wild friend, pinpoint accuracy maybe, and disappear into nature. They sound good. Did I? Pinpoint accuracy. And animal companion. A wild friend. Oh, a kind of weasel, like a ferret, but cuter. Oh, what are the ones that start with E? Oh, I can't think of the word. But yes, I know what you're getting at. We'll go with a cute ferret. The ones that are white, you know, the kind of a white ferret. Oh, man, they're so cool. But totally out of place, wouldn't it, for me? So friend, a cute ferret. And camouflage. Disappear to nature. And I still need a name. Ermine, that's what I'm thinking of. I just totally blanked on what it was. Still need a name for this dude or dudette. Irvine. Is it a ferret called Irving? Irving the Ermine? Or is it the the ranger dude? So that is our dude. Go back to a familiar face. So I think Twinky would like to show Irvine where they gamble. So that would be they are probably in or you know, on the stage. There's a little stage area or something. Twinky shows Irvine where they fleece the customers with their card tricks and chicanery. It's probably a temporary location on the side of beside the stage. The stage is really just kind of a platform. Temporary spot in the main tavern off to the side. Lots of dark shadows. Okay, and I think that M. Kenzie would be quite proud of the roofing that she did on top of the lighthouse, which allowed them to turn the lighthouse into an inn. I should change the view to that so you guys can see what I'm doing. During wear and tear to the lighthouse, which allowed them to up some a comfy inn. Yeah. Do we think Carter also somehow knows this dude or not? With amnesia, this is hard to say, right? Maybe Irvine doesn't say anything. Maybe Irvine does recognize Carter, but doesn't say anything because Carter seems to be, you know, he thinks maybe Carter's laying low or something. Anyway, where do we think they will take everyone? See, I think Twinky would either take him to his slime ranch, which is, you know, next door and doesn't really give us anything new, or he would take him down to the lake to fish for some dire sturgeons, or maybe some back alley or something like that. What do you guys think? And as for MKNZ, I think she would like somewhere that would have some kind of solitude. So I guess it could be a park or a memorial. Do you want me to call the other one Butter? What invasive lionfish, JR? JR says Twinkie needs to take him to the lake to help with invasive lionfish. What lionfish? Okay. Twinkie takes. I really want to call the ranger Butter because you just said that the other one should be called Butter. The Ermine should be called Irvine. But no, we'll call the ranger Irvine and the and the ferret. The ferret can be called Butter. Named Butter. Alright. So Twinkie takes Irvine. Arriving Irvine to Shadow Lake. So what is he gonna do? Is he gonna shoot them with his bow and arrow? For the lionfish? What are lionfish, by the way, JR? Can you elaborate on that, please? To show off where some of his fresh ingredients come from. And also to enlist his help with a lionfish invasion. Well, normally they're kind of invasive spiny fish. That's a problem all over the world currently. But in this case, I think I don't know, fish that turn into lions. Oh, fish that turn into lions? Okay. What about, fish that have manes? How would a ranger deal with a lionfish? Is, causing havoc with the dire sturgeons that naturally populate this lake. How would he's an aquatic ranger, half merman. Oh, okay. But he has a calling for the forests. Right, Irvine the Mer Ranger. Okay. Gotcha. So, that makes sense. Maybe, should we roll to see how this goes? Or, maybe Butter should be an otter. Yeah, maybe Butter should be an otter, you're right. We can roll to see how this goes. But what would Irvine say or do to help with this lionfish invasion? I just want to, yeah, I do want to roll it to see what the result is, but I just would like to get an idea of what it is that they're doing. Are they going to try and entrap them? Because you said it's an invasion, so that implies there's quite a lot of them. Or is there a way to poison them? Or only the lionfish? Or to make it so the lionfish just want to leave? Or does Twinkie just go insane with dynamite or something? I don't know. We'll roll it and see how it goes. I rolled 6 on 2d6. As we know, that is a miss. So whatever happens, Twinkie with the dynamite. So I think that he kills half of the dire sturgeons and maybe half of the lionfish. Twinkie gets impatient with Irvine's long-term solution and just throws dynamite into the lake, causing havoc. I wrote with the local and invasive species. I think that Twinkie needs to be punished Maybe the local spirit of the lake is so incensed with what Twinky did that she curses him. What kind of curse is it? What kind of curse would be a good curse for a goblin that likes to fleece people and cooks with slimes? We could always do something that would affect his sense of taste, or she could turn him into a fish, or until he realizes the error of his ways, which could be a very long time. Or she could change him into a different species, or she could take away something that's important to him, like his boots. His shiny boots. She could give him webbed feet, so he can't wear his shiny boots anymore. Now has webbed hands and feet and can no longer wear his black boots. He locks himself in his room for days. Okay, I think that's yes. So there's still some lionfish in there. And the pissed off local spirit of the lake, who we'll give a name to at some point. After that, I would say that Mackenzie would take him holding onto a rope. What does holding onto a rope mean? Jumping a stone wall. I think that MKNZ takes him across to the other side of town. Where's my map? Here's my map. All the way over here. Now, would it be the bottom right or the bottom left? To the little old church. Now, is it a cemetery that's attached to a church or a graveyard that's attached to a church? I know that's what the difference is between a graveyard and a cemetery. I think it would be a graveyard that's attached to the church, because we have a cemetery that does not have a church, I think. Little old church with a graveyard. And she goes here because it's quiet, and there's probably some kind of statue, of like an angel or something, some kind of angel, and then she just takes him for a picnic. Lindsay takes Irvine to the little old church's graveyard. Graveyard is attached to the church, yep. That was something I recently learnt too. Graveyard is no longer used and hardly maintained. To have a picnic under a beautifully eerie statue of an angel. It's quiet, serene, and idyllic. I've just basically used the same meaning, thesaurussing it there. So they have a nice, quiet moment. You know what? We should have a festival of fireworks or something, but I think there is a festival thingy, mini game in here, so we'll save it for them. So I would say they have to squeeze through a little fence to get there. Squeeze through a little fence inside. I think the little church probably burned down. Little church had burned down long ago. Alright. Irvine also spins. Why do I keep putting another I in Irving? Also spends some quiet time, some time drinking at the end of the bar in the tavern while Carter is tending to said bar. Irvine seems to be quietly keeping an eye on him, but they do not appear to interact further than taking and giving drink orders. Dun dun dun! Okay. Right. Let us move back to the Stewpot. And I apparently need to refresh the restart capture. See you again. Somehow it's already time for your friend to leave. How does your group send them off? And what are your plans for the next time you see each other? Optional, your friend gives you a keepsake. How do we send him off? I say there's a big party. He probably doesn't want it, but Twinky insists on it once he comes out of the his room. A party. He says it will be a debaucherous night. I can't spell debaucherous night. Apparently I did. Of drinking and fornicating. MKZ smacks him with a spatula and says it will be a quiet dinner amongst friends. And they have a bonfire, cook fish and slimes, and toast drinks and marshmallows with each other until well into the wee hours. Irvine and Butter are already gone by the time Kinsey and Twinky awaken to find, and we need a keepsake, I reckon. What do you think? A keepsake of some kind? Mounted lionfish to hang above the bar? Oh, do you think he went off and he got rid of the lionfish while they were sleeping? Do you think lionfish have claws? I think it would have taken him too long to mount a lionfish. I would say, I would say claws from a lionfish claw necklace. And it's okay, JR. You're giving me ideas, and I take some of those ideas, and other ideas I use them as springboards to come up with other ideas. That's how these things work. I'm just glad that you're joining in. And I want to call it a pack, but it should just be a pile of freshly caught lionfish. A huge pile. Oh, yeah, I like that. So with a keepsake, I would say the fish are for Twinky, although he's probably not happy with that, although he can probably turn it into some kind of stew or soup or tacos. And I would keepsake. Lionfish claw necklace from Irvine the Ranger. Put that in Kenzie's thingamajiggy. Alright, so what was next? A familiar face, and then shelter from the storm, which I thought would be good to do before wear and tear, because there's a storm and there probably will be some wear and tear. So let's go to that on Stewpot. So early one morning you feel it, a familiar ache in your bones. Something is coming. As former adventurers you took extra precautions when you started running the tavern. But there are plenty of people in town that aren't ready. Can you help them in time? So the setup, someone rushes into the tavern shouting, "What calamity is approaching?" We have to choose one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's only 5. There's a ferocious storm, a rampaging colossus, an army of undead, a curse, or a great flood. I don't know if a curse would be good. How would a calamitous curse, suddenly appear? A rampaging colossus? Oh my god. How would a tavern be saved from a rampaging colossus? How could we even prepare for that? Let's read on to see what else they say. Write down the messenger as an NPC, then use the prompts to answer individually or as a group. What precautions did you take in and around the tavern, and what old habits have you struggled to let go of? So, hiding your valuables in obscure places, placing wards that are a mild inconvenience to those around you, sleeping with one eye open, hidden defenses that spring out of the walls, a secret signal you still remember, a divine favor, retractable wheels or limbs. What kind of a tavern do people have? Okay, and then we take turns protecting the storm. Alright, do I need to read that now, or... It's a tavern full of adventurers. The Colossus is about to have a very bad day. Well, the thing is, it's not really full of adventurers. The way we've done it is with MK and Z, we have Twinky, and we have Carter, whatever Carter is. So, we have a rogue and a bard and whatever Carter is. We don't really have anything where we can do magic as far as we know. And we don't really have anyone who's a cleric, although if we could still have a divine favor, I guess. We could probably... Rampaging Colossus? I mean, if we had a magic user, we could have an awesome shield that would, if they put their foot on it, that would bounce off or something. We would be more able to deal with an army of undead, a ferocious storm, a great flood, or maybe even a curse, depending on what the curse is. But a rampaging colossus just seems a bit too much. Roll a d4. The d4 says a great flood. Would we be prepared for a great, I don't know, a storm or an army of undead? I think an army of undead would be cool. That's something we could deal with. Because, I mean, the bard could punch them and do whatever the bard does. We have an assassin as MKNZ. Do we have to give up something? And then when we're done, we roll to see how the tavern fared after all that. Yeah, I would like an army of undead that would just run through the town. So shelter from the storm. Army of undead. Now, what we have to do is write down the messages. So we need an NPC. So far we only have the little old lady who gave us the place. We don't know where she is anymore. There's Jock, the roofer, who's a skinny and old half-orc, so probably not him. We have Carter, the employee. We also had that teacher that we delivered stuff to. And also that courier. Maybe the courier is passing back through and he says there's an army of undead coming and he's been fleeing from them since and informing people in towns ahead of him. So, what was his name? Randolph Swiftfoot? Randolph Swiftfoot. Courier. Platinum blonde half elf. Can't hold his liquor. Okay. So Randolph rides his exhausted horse into Black Oak and gives the let's change the view here. Horrific announcement. An undead army has been marching across the land, and Black Oak is right in its path. So what do we need to do? Write down the messengers and NPC, then use the prompts to answer individually or as a group. What precautions did you take in and around the tavern? What old habits have you struggled to let go of? Hiding your valuables in obscure places. Placing wards that are a mild inconvenience to those around you. Sleeping with one eye open. Hidden defences that spring out of the walls. The secret signal. You still remember a divine favour. Retractable wheels or limbs. Retractable wheels or limbs? What is that? Warforged? I would say MKNZ probably always sleeps with one eye open, but this doesn't sound like something they would be have done to be prepared for. I think that they would have. I mean, they don't know what they're preparing for, so hiding valuables in obscure places. It sounds like something they would do anyway. Placing wards that are mild inconvenience to those around you. Like I said, these people are not people who can do magic. Maybe the bard could. But I think the bard would be more interested in protecting themselves. What are hidden defenses? There might be some hidden defenses. I would say that they probably do Home Alone defenses. Twinky has made a lot of Home Alone type defenses in the tavern. They also have slimes. He has also been training his slimes in offensive maneuvers. I can never spell maneuvers. Yeah, I think that's really it. Otherwise, hidden the valuables. Obscure places. And always having weapons on nearby and well maintained. What comes next? Weathering the storm. So we have to take turns protecting the tavern and the town or the surrounding area. So on our turn, we choose an action and ask another adventurer to come with you. This is too big to handle alone. Since there are only technically, we can have some NPCs with us that would be helping out. I would say that Jock would probably be one of them. we could maybe enlist the courier, but I don't see him actually having anything in this fight. But we could go and look up that teacher, because that teacher would probably be protecting the children at the very least. If we put all the children together somewhere. Aaron Fiddleroot. Aaron Fiddleroot teacher. Could work. So we have Mackenzie, Twinky and his slimes, Carter, Jock, and Aaron Fiddleroot. Those are the ones we know of. Shore up the tavern. That's one option. Strategize with the town leaders. That's another option. Spread the word to shelter at the tavern. That seems reasonable. Or the school or something. But the tavern's probably more fortified. Although people could go to the church. At the moment we only have the little old church. But I said little old church with the assumption that there's a bigger, newer church. Cook something to share. Investigate an old story about the calamity. Bolster the town's defenses. Rescue someone stranded. Head off the calamity. Redirect what you can or act as a decoy. Convince someone stubborn that they need to leave their home, or spin a story to calm the crowd. Okay. There was enough here to cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To cover most of the class options, isn't there? But we will shore up the tavern, strategize with town leaders, spread the word to shelter at the tavern, cook some dishes, get an old story. I like the idea of rescuing someone who's stranded. Head off the calamity and redirect what you can or act as a decoy. Convince someone stubborn that you need to leave their home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We can pick 3, I think. Because we have a MK and Z, we have a Twinky, and we have a Carter. So, I think that the word is spread that anyway that a number of townspeople end up at the tavern because they know it's run by former adventurers, so they believe it's safe. Of towns folk end up at the tavern because they believe the former adventurers will save them. I'll say that others end up at the church. Probably the majority, once they find out it's dead. We'll split them by thirds. Another number goes to the new church because they believe the gods will save them from the undead. Some end up huddled at the skull. Okay, so that happens anyway with the skull. Would Twinky rather cook something for people to share or go out with his slimes to fight? I think McKenzie would definitely go out. Maybe to convince someone stubborn they need to leave their home. She would totally go to rescue someone. Or rescue someone stranded. Let's rescue someone stranded. Maybe she goes to rescue the little old lady. Let's see. Loons. The little old lady. Who took her in and handed the tavern over to her. Over after training her. Is alone at her home across Black Oak. Refusing to leave. No, not refusing to leave. I don't want to convince someone stubborn. I'll say that she's injured. Maybe she can't leave. Not home alone. Maybe she's stranded somewhere. Stranded between the tavern and the church. She's cut off from either. Due to the rampaging, to the marching undead army. So we'll go slice them up. Should we roll to see how well she does? Because the other one's just how well the tavern fares. Hey Dixon! We've got an undead army sweeping across Black Oak that we have sort of prepared for because we are adventurers who haven't quite given up on it. So I'm going to roll to see how well she saves this woman. Whoops! I'll re-roll that again. 6, 9. So that's a mixed success. So we get the undead army. So she gets to that lady. She saves the lady. She rescues the stranded lady, but at what cost? Kick them in the toe, in the undead toe. Mackenzie goes in slashing with her magic sword and rescues the little old lady, but is bitten. Mackenzie hides this fact from the others. I'll reveal that later. Now, I think that Twinky uses his slimes to protect the perimeter, which is really only not that much of an area because we are at the end of a cliff. So more like a line between the undead. Of the tavern from the undead army. I guess I'll roll to see how that goes. Probably I should leave it for the last roll, shouldn't I? Because of how it says the tavern fares at the end there. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. That's another 9 again. Okay. Oh, I just had a bad idea. What if they protect the tavern, the people inside the tavern, but we lose Squishy? Okay. The people, what's the word? People sheltering in the tavern are kept safe. However, Squishy goes over the edge of the cliff into the deep black waters of Shadow Lake. Squishy is the little baby slime that has taken a liking to Carter. And what is Carter doing? So, Carter is... The examinations are rescue someone stranded. He pulls the town's defenses. We said, cook somebody spread the word. What could Carter do? He's probably in the tavern. So, I don't think he should cook. I think he's probably trying to calm the crowd, but I don't know if he's a story spinner because it's not like he can remember anything. Maybe he just has a calming presence. I don't know. Maybe he spread the word to shatter it. No. What could Carter have done? Maybe Carter has to convince someone stubborn that they need to leave their home. Who would he convince? I'm going to change something. I'm going to change MK and Z. Instead of the little old lady, I'm going to say it's Jock. That Jock, the roofer, is stranded on his house. On the roof of his house. And is cut off from a safe space due to the marching off from reaching a safer space so that his army in the streets goes slashing with a magic sword and rescues Jock, but is bitten. And Kenzie hides this fact from others. And I'm going to say that Carter, MKZ sends Carter. Carter is sent to check on the little old lady who used to own the tavern. Sent by MKZ. She is refusing to leave her home on the other side of Black Oak. She yells at him that she is too old and will not be leaving, be forced, and nothing can force her to leave the home she has lived in or with her late husband all of their married and her widowed life. That's a 5. Does he stay with her? Carter is unable to persuade her, so he decides to thinking of words that are hard. Decides he won't leave either. And they ride out the march of the undead army together. Let us see the result of that. And then I'll tie up what happens with everyone. Okay, so when the dust is settled, what dice should I roll? Should I roll the Tutti Frutti sherbet dice? Should I roll the nice orange dice? Or should I roll the purple and blue, black, grey dice? To see how the tavern fares after all of this. I got 3 dice. Sherbet, orange, or purpley, blacky, grey, whitey dice. Yeah, zero-coloured dice. Which one are the zero-coloured dice? They're all zero-coloured, right? Oh, wait, we've got one for orange and one for blue and purple. JR came in first with orange. It's a 3. Damaged. You're not fully operational, but it could have been much worse. You have a lot of repairs ahead of you, and over the next few days you notice other people in the area swapping their skills and helping each other get back on their feet. What can you offer and who can you reach out to? Blue and purple is my colour set? How is that my colour set, Dixon? I'm going to go straight into wear and tear after this one. And then I'll probably wrap it up after that. Twinky is very sad at losing. Is he sad though? We'll say that they got into the kitchen. We'll say that mainly it's the tavern as opposed to the inn. Mostly the kitchen and some of the seating area. The inn is fine. Is untouched. Because I would say that the inn, the lighthouse, made out of, have I seen my logo? Yes, sorry, there's also orange in my logo, isn't there? Because there's an orange cat. The inn is untouched as it was closest to the cliff and is made of stone. Twinky digs a barbecue pit and cooks from there until the kitchen can be fully repaired and allows the tavern to remain open in an outdoor setting. Carter returns to the tavern on his own. The little old lady is later buried next to her husband at the newer graveyard, is later cremated. I would say that the undead army did not get them many new recruits from Black Oak, as the custom here is to cremate the deceased because they ain't stupid and don't want undead waking up and walking around. Carter is a little quieter than usual. Mackenzie continues to hide her injury from the others. Jock helps to fix the tavern in return for Mackenzie saving him from the undead. What else do we do? What can you offer? The tavern provides food, hot meals to those who help rebuild the town. It's a lot of lionfish related dishes. That's really it. It's available at the moment. The church is tasked with burning the undead. Okay. Should we go into wear and tear from that? Yeah, I guess we should. We just gotta remember that MKNZ has her wound is not looking good. Okay. Wear and tear. Let's see, what are our options? Do. Ask another character for help. Describe how you combine one of your experiences with one of these to great effect. As you're working, you observe a townsperson or another player. Describe what you learn from your observation. You're completely in your element. Describe how you use an experience to get the work done lightning fast. You come up with perfect food or drink to give everyone for energy. What is this? Secret ingredient. You notice everyone flagging. Frustrates you. You lift your own spirits. Everyone loves your idea for a new addition to the tavern. They put you in charge, but you're doubting your own ability to lead. Who gives you encouragement and how? What part of the renovation requires everyone to pitch in all at once? Struggling to make progress. I bet you know exactly which townsperson to ask for help. How did you know they would be good at this? It's the time for a break, and you think it would do everyone a world of good if they little steam. Well, we've already done that one. There was an accident and someone was hurt. Already done that one. You tell everyone you'll treat them to food after the work is done. We will love to spot in town. What is the place called and what is everyone planning on ordering? We could do this one. It's struggling to make progress. Or everyone to pitch in. At the moment we've got everyone pitching in anyway. The barn, the seating area and kitchen requires a lot of work, so everyone pitches in to get this done after the undead attempted to undead's attack on the tavern. They are amply rewarded with hearty hot meals. And should we do one with Carter as well, or MKNC and Twinky? Well, we've kind of done the one with everyone. Completely in your element. Describe how you use an experience. Done lightning fast. Twinky. What about Twinky? Twinky could be completely in his element. What is Twinky's skills again? He's got sea legs, right? That could certainly be helpful for something. Bag of tricks, golden words, sea legs, balance on any surface. Dixon, what do you want Twinky to do? I've moved on, so I can't remember what it was that I had said. You may have said Twinky back. And because there's lag between what I say and what you guys see. When you guys see it. We could randomly give Carter an ability. We've already done a new addition to the tavern. Don't need a new addition yet. Okay, so we're gonna repair the kitchen and the seating area. Could be good with mending or... I was thinking we just give Carter some random skills. You know, he could suddenly learn, like, oh my god, I can do this thing. But I don't know what skill would be helpful. He could be really strong, I guess. I don't like looking at him. Let's go back to wear and tear. Due to a wound, Mackenzie to ask for help with carrying lumber. And Carter, with his seemingly unhuman levels of strength, assists. Not happy with that, but we'll go with it for now. Unhuman or inhuman? We'll put it with Carter. Assists with seemingly little effort exerted. Could have carried it all on his own, but he doesn't want to hurt MK's feelings or insinuate she is weak. As he's observed, she's a little sensitive, but he's not sure why. Okay, well it does MKZ and Carter. So, man, Twinky's just obviously cooking things, right? He'd probably be very upset that maybe his little area is no longer. Maybe he wants to improve it. What would he do to lift everyone's spirits? Twinkie notices that people are tired and aren't doing as much work as they should be, and this frustrates him, so he starts reciting a bawdy poem to help lift people's spirits and hopefully increase their morale and activity levels. At least that's his excuse for doing it. Not that he cares about anyone or anything. Nuh-uh. Totally for selfish reasons. Okay. Oh, and we leveled something up, don't we? So let's go do that screen. Where's the right one? What are we going to level up this time? So we've just had to redo our kitchen. Just bear that in mind when we choose something else, right? To level up. But we could get a bustling kitchen, a brand new cookwork, and a well-stocked spice cabinet. That sounds reasonable. Or we could also get furniture and decorations that highlight the area, lots of personal touches. It's really starting to come together. Because that's something else we would have had to have fixed up, because those two areas were affected by the undead army. Or we could get an experienced line cook and good waitstaff. I think that atmospheric cuisine is where we need to go. You want personal touches? Makes sense. So I'll put in here after undead army marches through Black Oak and damages part of the kitchen and seating area, the tavern is repaired and more and the seating area is upgraded. Some of the furniture is made by the local carpenters and crafters for thanks in sheltering them. Okay, that makes sense. Alright. A large painting of Squishy. I hope to bring Squishy back. I mean, he fell off a cliff. It's possible he survived. I would like him to survive. If there's a good thing coming up that we could bring him back in, that he could survive, that would work. These things happen. I have ideas. Trust me, they're fine. I have ideas. Anyway, that's it for this session. Thanks for joining me, guys. And I'll keep going with Stewpot until I feel like we've gotten to a place where it's finished, I guess. The idea is we're supposed to be giving up skills that we have as adventurers and then picking up new skills as townsfolk. But I'm not very good at doing that because I'm not sure when it should happen. Yeah, or how one picks up a new skill for a townsfolk. Because none of the townsfolk jobs really apply. I'm like, but I'm transitioning to a tavern owner, right? Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I will see you again soon. And now I will just wave awkwardly while I find even the right application to use to find the right bye-bye button. Bye.